Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the Ted Show. I am super excited to have my dear friend April Richey on the show. What's up, April?
Hi everyone.
Back from an amazing trip. We're going to talk probably a little bit about that. But the title of her show is Share the Love, and she's got lots of good journey stories she's going to share with us. Welcome, April. How you doing today?
Thank you, Ted. I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I am wonderful. I'm glad that we finally got you on the show. I've been trying even before you shared what you did at one of the Women's Council meetings. And so I'm hoping that we take a dive into that too. But before we do, let's talk about the journey. I said before we went live that the audience loves to know where you started. You know, you probably didn't have a real estate Barbie. So you probably had other dreams, other things you wanted to do. So give them a little 411 on your background.
That's a great idea, though. They should make a real estate Barbie.
They should. I don't know why they don't.
Actually, I've always been in sales. Pretty much my first job ever was working in a restaurant, but customer service, sales always. I will say this though, just recently I made a speech with the Women's Council of Realtors, Osceola County, and that's where you and I talked about afterwards too. And share the love. I guess being, I've got 3 siblings, and being the oldest, I feel like I was born into this role. It's part of my nature, taking care of everyone. Of course, I take care of myself too, but I feel like it's important to show everyone that we're all loved and we all deserve happiness, and we all deserve the motivation from each other. So me being in real estate, that helps me out a lot because I can listen to people and I can, feel them out a bit, kids, family, spouses. Like, I understand what they're kind of feeling because myself, I am married and I have children. I have siblings. It's just, I come from humble beginnings, and this is great. I love sharing the love with everyone.
So if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, and if I'm going too deep, you will stop me. You shared something about how that was maybe not necessarily something you learned growing up. You didn't experience it growing up. Talk about that, because I feel like there are many of us in that boat, and I feel like you go one of 2 ways. You either mimic it and you never break the cycle of that, and you don't do that with your children either, or your family or your friends, or you go the opposite way, which is how I went and how you did. You realize that's something you yearned for, and so you're going to give of it freely.
Yeah. Tough love. That's how I was raised. And thinking about it now, I wouldn't have it any other way. And I'm so glad, because my parents love me. I love my sisters. I love my parents. But, when you're that young and you don't want to do something that your parents tell you to do, and if you don't do it, the monster's going to get you. Well, in our Spanish culture, the cucuy's going to get you. We would listen. We would be scared. So we would listen, it was tough love. It wasn't like, oh, if you don't want to do it, that's okay. We'll talk about your feelings later. No, it wasn't. You had no choice. But now I have children too. And of course, I'm not going to talk to them like that in, the way I was raised. I still scare them a bit, but it's all good. And I do not hide anything from my children. I'm very forward, upfront, and telling them, hey, it's not an easy world out there. It's not an easy world out there for anyone. It's scary. And I tell them, you're going to have all these, people on your back that are going to be negative, and you just need to learn how to just shake those haters off, right? And just keep moving forward. They're not paying your bills, so what does it matter? Don't listen to them.
That is correct. That is one of there's memes that go around about that, quotes and sayings. Look, my haters aren't paying my bills. What people think of me doesn't pay my bills.
Right.
And so, I think you have to have a healthy understanding of what haters are and what the people are who aren't for you. Sometimes it's hard to even differentiate between those who are and who aren't, because some people pretend to be they are and they are not. But kids have to kind of learn that as they go along. And I feel like even as a, 35-year-old man, wink, wink, I still have to sometimes have a difficulty discerning. And I occasionally get knocked upside the head with somebody I thought was a good human, and turns out to be the exact opposite. So, but it's a live and learn. I'm also a big believer, and I think probably you are too, in taking risks with people. I don't go into it saying, oh God, I think everybody's trying to out to get me. They all hate me. And then they have to prove over and over again that they do really care about me. I go the opposite.
Yeah. And at the same time, not being negative, I always encourage positivity and motivation for my friends and family, because you have to believe in yourself. And most importantly, you have to love yourself. You really do. It's so important. And like I had mentioned in my speech before, you know, my parents, they were raised differently. It was a different time then, and they were all hard workers, and their parents were hard workers too, migrant workers, you know, and they just focused, work, 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 eat, sleep, and then start the day off again the next day like that. So you didn't get all the hugs and, you know, I love yous all the time, like every child should and every adult should. Agreed. And that's why I feel it's important. I'm an open book, Ted. I've got nothing to hide, nothing to hide. And I love people, and I love love. I know that sounds so
cool. I love that. Tell me what you do, because I think the word self-care, self-love gets thrown around like it's I don't know what. But what do you do? Because I think a lot of people don't know what to do. They don't even, first of all, they go, okay, I think that means I need to do something for myself. But what does that even mean? So for you, what are some of the things that you do to make sure that you
as far like meditation or
meditation, prayer, facials, Botox? I've heard it all, believe me. What do you do for self-care, self-love?
Honestly, I don't have time to meditate. I wish I could. I don't have time to meditate. But I think what helps me a lot is that I experienced a lot of traumatic things as a child, which of course no child wants to go through that, but it helped me as an adult now, because I am so glad it happened to me as a child instead of in my adult years. Because being an adult, you would be stuck probably trying to move forward and trying to get out of that, you know? And I kind of already I feel like I've already been through that. Okay, what's next? Bring it on. You know what? I'm going to beat this. I got this. And just be honest with yourself. Meditation, I travel. I love traveling. I deserve it. Yes, who doesn't? Yeah. I buy pretty things sometimes because I deserve it.
And I think that more people should take that approach. Sometimes we self-deprecate so much that we forget how to talk about our value and talk about the things that are important to us and reward ourselves. And I think there's nothing selfish about that. I think you have to do that in order to stay focused and re-energized. So let's talk about the real estate world. You obviously were in sales, but why real estate? There's a lot of people who hopped on during the hot market. Not that it's really changed, it's just shifted a little. Why real estate for you?
Well, and I know you've heard that old expression also, and I'm probably not even saying this right, but surround yourself with people that are very successful. And you never want to be the smart person in the room. You don't, because you're never going to go anywhere.
It's never a challenge for me, because I am never that person.
And I think that a lot of my friends were realtor friends, and I saw that, you know, they were doing things, and then they were also helping out with charities. And I'm like, you know what, I can do that. And again, I'm also that person that if you tell me, hey, April, I bet you can't eat this jalapeno for $2. And I'll be like, well, yes, I can. You know, like just ridiculous like that. That's me. So you put a challenge in front of me. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try it. I may not complete it properly, but I'm gonna try my best. And I think that, again, coming from humble beginnings, I see these families and they deserve a good home, you know, and I want to do that for people. And I love it. I love my job. And it's not always about the money. It's not. So
I love that you love it. I think you have to have a passion for whatever you do. And I find some of the most passionate people in real estate. It doesn't have to be a realtor, but just in our overall industry, because it can knock you upside the head. It can be a challenge. It goes through cycles. But yet people who have a passion for helping other people, it's a beautiful place to be.
It is.
It's an absolute beautiful place.
Yeah. And you had mentioned, what do I do? Also going back to that question, and how do I self-love, or, you know, I don't do meditation. I wish I could, I just don't have the time. But what also helps is that I have an amazing husband, and I love him, and he supports me. And like I said, it's so important to surround yourself with positive people.
Yes.
And he tries to, he's my number one fan, and I'm his. So that's what helps. It really does. So, yay.
So talk about the market just a little bit. I have to always ask real estate people.
Yes.
Where do you see we're going into we're ending the third quarter, going to hit the fourth quarter, not too far off. What do you see happening the rest of 2022?
Well, now I'm kind of going through this slow phase, but it's also a time for me to reset. You know, kids are going back to school right now. I have a lot of buyers still. I just heard this morning rates are going down. Great. This is good because it's a buyer's market. And you know what? This is great for every realtor out there. A few months ago, it was a seller's market. And oh my goodness, that was
Wicked.
insane.
Wicked.
That was insane. Crazy.
Insanity.
I do see that once school starts in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, geez, we're going to go back. It's going to get busy again. Yes. That's what I'm saying. You know, people want to surprise each other. Christmas is around the corner. I'm going to buy you a house.
I agree.
Yeah.
I really feel good about 20. You know, talking about the market, I just feel like it was so insane on the seller side, and it was very difficult. You all had to maneuver through multiple offers, tons of offers, over asking, cash. I mean, it was a challenge for anybody who wanted to buy in the market.
Right.
And now I just feel like the pendulum shifted a little bit back, stabilized just a tiny bit, made it a little more of an even keel market. Right. And a lot of people view that as a bad thing. And I just think it's such a positive thing.
Right. There's plenty of housing out there for everyone. You know, and where we live at now in Florida, you know, some people are still saying there's going to be a market crash. And I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you what's going to happen. However, from what I'm seeing, there's so many buyers in line right now. I'm sure it may be not like that in the other parts of the nation, but here, Central Florida, it's like that. So we're busy, constantly.
We are busy. All right. So as we wrap up, that's how fast it goes. As we wrap up, I like to ask people this, especially since your topics share the love. When I say the word hero to you, who's the first person that comes to mind?
My husband.
Tell me why.
He lets me be me. I am never, you know, some people will say, oh my God, she's going to, you know, talk about her love. He's the best man in the whole wide world. But for the longest time, I used to be embarrassed to say that I have such an amazing husband, because I would hear stories about my friends that weren't doing so well with their loved ones. And I'd want to keep my mouth shut and not say anything. But you know what? I went through so much hard times that I deserve this. I deserve a good man. He is, I can't let, that's my man right there. I always, his nickname is Mi Vida, my life, you know, because.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, I love that. You know.
See, that's beautiful. It's funny. I'll get everything from mom to grandmom to grandpa. Like I've had, you name it. So
well, mom too, and dad, everybody out there.
No, don't feel bad because I said, hey, you could have gone anywhere you wanted with that. But yeah, no, I think that's really cool, because I think a lot of people, you know, relationships are a challenge. Relationships are work. Mm-hmm. And so when you can have someone like you talk about how amazingly supportive your husband is, that's an absolute beautiful thing. All right, April, what's the best way for them to find out more about you, list or buy with you?
Yes.
How can they reach April Richey?
Okay, April, you can find me anywhere. You know, you've got my number across the street. I think it'll pop up, 407-883-3593. April the Agent. You can find that on social media, April the Agent. Call me. If you can't reach me, call Ted. Ted will give you my line.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, good. You took my line. I usually go, if you can't find April, come find me and I'll get you to April. You're a joy to be around. We're so blessed to have you in Women's Council, and I just love being around you and working with you. You're such an open book, and that's so refreshing in this crazy world that we live in. So thanks for coming on and sharing your journey. See, it wasn't painful.
No, it wasn't. It was very easy. Thank you.
All right, guys, reach out to April if you're buying or selling or want to learn more about what she does. You can go find her through April the Agent or April Richey on social media, or you can reach out to me, and I'll make sure that I put her phone number down in the comments. And she said she would put it out there. I love it. Put the phone number out there. What up?
Thank you, Ted.
All right, April. Thank you so much. All right, guys. We'll see you soon. Bye.